Hi, everyone. Welcome to Appliance Advisors. I'm Francesco, joined as always by my co host, Dennis. Today, we're going to talk about kitchen packages and should you buy a kitchen package? And what I mean by that is, should you really be focusing when you're kind of doing buying a suite of appliances? Should you be focusing on matching them all within the same brand or picking and choosing between different brands? And now this can go a number of different ways. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I listen, I could talk about this for hours because I think it all starts and should start, is my disclaimer, with a needs assessment. Before you start hopping online to look at pricing and packages, I'd prefer you sit down at a dining room table before you hop online and start to just make a needs assessment of what do you want? What are things you hate about your current piece? What are things you feel like you might love or have to have or really want to have? And make it by category. What do you want to have? A dishwasher, what does it need to look like? Do you think candles? Like, go through that checklist and spend some time doing that. Then go online. That's how most of us shop. Maybe you do your research and start asking some of those questions, right? And then shop pricing. And I say that because more people often not start the opposite way. And I get it. You want to find out maybe what would this whole project cost me? There's some things to that. But I think a lot of times you end up not making that needs assessment, going into a store or looking online and really spending good money after bad because you're chasing the promo. And you probably could have saved money if you really realized,
Yeah.
hey, these models I'm buying, do I even want the features? I get I'm saving $1,000 or $500. But am I actually spending $500 more because I don't even need the very features this package is coming with?
And I think that's it. I think people really go for packages for two reasons. One, it's the look. They want it to match. The stainless steel obviously is all the same. The handles are all the same. They need, or they think they need it all to match, or they want it all to match, whatever it may be. That's reason number one. And second, it's really the price, because there's a package rebate. Maybe it's a mail-in rebate. Maybe it's something instant. Maybe it's if you get this, you get that. So those are the two main reasons why people tend to go that way at times. But again, like you said, it's not always necessarily the best. So tackling the first one first, like if you're trying to get a package because you want everything to match, handles, stainless, things like that. One, I would tell you, it really depends on the person. Not everyone would notice stainless steel being different, or you may not even ever notice it. So one, I think it depends on you to see kind of like, is it going to be that big of a deal to you? But secondly, there are so many options today to mix and match and not have handles mismatch, with pocket handles on dishwashers, pocket handles on some refrigerators. So there's a lot of ways to do different brands and still be able to match and not have something stick out like a sore thumb, like some random handle that doesn't match the rest of your kitchen. You can still do that by still having different brands. And the other one you've kind of already talked about, it's the money part of it. So there's two ways with these rebates. Like certainly you can, try to get it all because there's this rebate. And then if you get this, you get this other second mail-in rebate and all these things. First off, with those rebates, they might be great, but you got to look at the fine print, number one. Are you even going to be able to take delivery by the time you have to submit for the mail-in rebate? So that rebate might not even do anything for you, number one. And number two, like you said, just by forcing yourself into that brand, you might be paying more for something within this brand that you can get somewhere else that maybe you even like better. Or maybe there's something that you just want that's more feature driven, like you said, or something that's really important to you that this brand doesn't offer. So I think it's not a clear cut yes or no that you should. I think it really depends on the person. But like you said, I think the worst thing to do is just chase rebates and chase the package, because you can make a package fit within your budget by either mixing and matching or matching all one brand. I think you could do it either way.
And if we're talking a package, we're probably talking either a new kitchen or a complete refresh to an existing. And I would tell you this, most of the time in there, you do. Everyone does. They either they Google it, hey, beautiful kitchens, or whatever you're looking at, traditional kitchens or coastal or wherever you're looking, whatever your inspiration comes from. Or you may be getting one of the magazines and flipping through that. And I would tell you that aside from when it's a manufacturer-sponsored ad, those glam shots or that designer spotlight that's showing this amazing kitchen that we all probably aspire, maybe get some things that we'd like to pull out of there if we could, on our budget, maybe, right?
Of course.
I think you'd really agree that, or you'd see, they're never the same product. The highest end kitchens we do are never all the same. And that's not for money. What I think those folks sometimes do, because there's a lot of professionals supporting those really high-end jobs, They have experience of saying, nah, you know what, that's not the best dishwasher. I ever pay for this one actually is less, and I like that one more. So I think all of us can have that in our own way. The other thing that I'd say to you is there is this trend of, you started to talk about it, chasing that rebate, buy this, get that for free. Okay.
Yes.
Folks, I'm not going to break anyone's heart here. There's no such thing as free. I mean, there's just not, or else I'd be getting free ice
You're
creams every,
paying
maybe
for
I
it
am.
one way or another.
But I would say there's no such thing as just free. To prove that to you, what I want you to do is take a brand. Say, okay, that free product you're giving me, how much if I just bought that free item? There's a thing in this world that you buy a range and you get a dishwasher for free. The dishwasher is priced in the market at $3,000. There's not $3,000 dishwashers. It's an $800 dishwasher. They've just inflated the math. You're falling right into the marketing gimmick. You're a perfect case study as to why to do it and why they keep on doing it. And then we're all caught up into the timing of all these things, to your point. And man, okay, I have it. And now, can I get it in time? And we know with projects, especially post-COVID, and we know moving forward, tradespeople are hard to find. Projects have longer delays. There's blips in projects for a million reasons. You don't need the added pressure of necessarily chasing a rebate. I always say this with rebates. Make sure you fall in love with the appliances you have and assume that if there weren't a rebate and you were to lose it all, could you afford to pay for them at street value, face value? And if you can, consider rebates found money, especially with the timing of projects, because I think you just have to do that and set your mind at, okay, the project's costing X, and if you got that extra rebate, well, we're all feeling really good and this was a great project, but you're not adding more stress onto an already full plate when you're doing one of these projects.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the big things to think about. And even within like those larger kitchens or where you're doing multiples, there's what if you're mixed, you're gonna definitely overpay if you're just looking to stay within the same brand, because there's certain categories that you can definitely save money as well. So ventilation and under counters and things like that. Like this private, like we do private label options, and there's certainly some options that you can save some significant monies and have really probably something with more features versus trying to go with a brand name ventilation or brand name undercounter, things like that. So certainly ways to save, and that allows you to splurge maybe on something else that you really want.
And the last thing I'd say, and certainly it's been a bit of time, but when I do talk to customers on the floor, I'm certainly not selling every day anymore, but when I was, my pitch would, because rebates have been a thing forever, and people would ask, I would always say this, respectfully, I would jump right out in front, I don't talk rebates. And I don't talk rebates yet because I'm not the GC on your project and I don't know the timing of it exactly. And I don't really even know that you technically do at that point. We have good intentions of one. So what I can tell you though, is generally that doesn't mean don't buy it necessarily at that time, because the physical cost of the good historically never comes down. It only goes up, but the rebates come and go. So let's just make sure we lock in the price of the good, and then we find out if the timing of the rebate worked in our favor. Because otherwise, I've seen so many customers paralyzed, wondering if tomorrow there'll be a better rebate. And they're always feel like, it's kind of like, when you're about to buy a car, maybe you're saying, oh, when's the next model going to release?
Yeah.
Good
Then you never
Lord,
buy
my car's,
anything.
I don't have,
Yeah.
my 4 tires are flat. I need
Yeah.
a car today. I can't wait. I can't keep walking around
Yeah,
here. So
exactly.
I'm just saying, don't get paralyzed by it all. It's made for design for that. They're made to be confusing. They're made for breakage. 30% of rebates go unclaimed. There is a 70% rule that all manufacturers follow. Sorry, manufacturers. They know there's 30% breakage. So don't let it happen. Find the product, make sure you're happy with the price. It's the product that meets your needs, and buy. And then if you find money at the end, you find that little pot of gold, have a nice dinner.
Yeah, that's it. So I think, should you buy a kitchen package? Maybe, but definitely not guaranteed that you need to be matching every appliance in your kitchen.
For
So.
sure.
And don't forget to follow us on social media for appliance tips and updates from Yale Appliance.
Your feedback is what shapes our series. Like what you saw? Give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you.
Stay informed and inspired on all your appliance needs. This is Appliance Advisors signing off.